Our video on automatically authenticating and authorizing private cellular clients starts now. Hello, I'm MJ, Solutions Architect at Celona, and I'm happy to welcome you to a Celona demonstration of an integration with the Cisco Identity Services Engine, or Cisco ISE. Here's 20 seconds of value proposition. From the Cisco Identity Services Engine homepage, know and control devices and users on your network. Let's add the Celona integration with the Cisco Identity Services Engine. Know and control devices and users on your Celona private cellular network. Celona supports network access control, NAC, of cellular clients by integrating with Cisco ISE and Aruba ClearPass. In this video, we will focus our integration with Cisco ISE. You can find instructions on configuring Cisco ISE with Celona at https://docs.celona.io. Let's start with a topology view of the lab and connection flow. On the left, our 5G LAN has a Zebra TC78 handheld phone with integrated barcode scanner. On the very right is a screen copy session of the Zebra TC78, which we will use throughout the demonstration. The Zebra TC78 with Celona SIM will attach to the Celona access point, or AP, in this case a 4G and 5G capable AP20 access point. The following is a summary of the Cisco ISE integration. During the cellular attach phase, the Celona Edge will forward a SIM IMSI or a device IMEI to Cisco ISE, which will either respond with a reject or an accept with a string of the Celona device profile, which the Celona Edge will dynamically assign and which the associated configuration will automatically be set for the device. To realize the benefits of the Celona and Cisco ISE integration, let's look at some device cellular attaches and their IP addressing with different configurations without Cisco ISE integration. In the Celona Cloud Portal, we can see that the Zebra TC78 has an IP address of 10.30.0.100 with a Celona SIM ICC ID ending in 6858. In the Zebra TC78 About Phone screen, we can see the same IP address listed, and by clicking on the SIM status, we can also confirm the Celona SIM ICC ID. We can also browse to the internet to confirm connectivity. Let's say I want to prevent this Celona SIM and device from attaching to the network. I can disable the SIM, and when I toggle airplane mode to initiate a new cellular attach, we can see that we get no bars on the device, and the web browser shows offline and is not able to refresh any web pages. Now, let's re-enable the Celona SIM, but this time, instead of applying the device profile that defines an external IP network domain that I previously used to forward a DHCP request into the 10.30 IP addressed network, I will set the device profile to default, which will let the Celona Edge provide a 169.IP address to the device. I will set the authorized sites and apply it and activate the SIM. I have just shown you, through manual reconfiguration of the SIM, disabling the device from connecting to the cellular network and reconfiguring twice to get IP addressing from an external source, which would be your DHCP server, or the default internal 169 network provided by Celona. The Celona device profile associates the Celona SIM and the device to an IP domain, but it is also a profile for other things. In addition to the IP domain for IP addressing, we can also set the physical port for which the Celona Edge Express device has two ports: the Edge cluster, advanced networking, including VLANs, supernetting, and IP multicasting. Celona device profiles also determine which microslices are in effect for application prioritization of bandwidth and latency. The Celona device profile allows for the configuration of all these things at scale across the fleet of devices. But up to now, a human administrator authenticates and authorizes membership of the Celona SIM and its associated device to a Celona device profile. How much do you trust a human to do this upon a triggered event, error-free, at enterprise scale? Celona helps IT teams reach the fully automated IT operations ideal via an integration with Network Access Control or NAC systems. Let's enable the integration with Cisco ISE. We've already followed the instructions to configure Cisco ISE in the Celona Cloud portal. In the Edge Cluster Detail page, we have configured the IP address and port, credentials, and the method of authenticating our device, in this case by IMSI. We could have alternatively chosen to identify devices by IMEI. To enable the device authorization server, we select it from the dropdown. Now, the edge is set to authenticate and authorize the Celona SIM on attach to a Celona device profile. Let's airplane mode the device and see what happens. I am seeing bars, but I am not getting an IP address. As a result, I also cannot browse any web pages as we are clearly offline. This is the default behavior of the integration until you populate your device identifiers into Cisco ISE and have a policy to authenticate and authorize SIMs. Let's look at the Cisco ISE configuration to authenticate and authorize our Celona SIM. I will use a library condition to identify my Celona SIM IMSI. In the library condition list, you will enumerate a list of device identifiers. Here, I have purposefully set an IMSI that is not of my device off by a different last digit. Let's configure this IMSI list with our Celona SIM IMSI. Now, let's look at the policy that authorizes this IMSI list to a Celona device profile. Here we have the policy set to authorize the IMSI list to the connected worker profile. Let's look at the profile. This profile accepts and returns the string connected worker. This string must correspond to a name of the Celona device profile. As I already have a Celona device profile for the connected worker, let's airplane mode cycle the phone to see what we get. Now I am fully attached and have a 10.30 IP address. I can browse the internet. We can see that while this device was initially assigned to the default profile for a 169.IP address from the Celona Edge, that due to authentication and authorization via Cisco ISE, it has been moved to the connected worker Celona device profile and now gets its IP address from DHCP. This device profile calls for IP addressing the same as before from the external IP domain, which obtains an IP address from the network's DHCP server. Let's say this device profile corresponds to a VLAN and IP addressing for the connected worker. And let's say as part of my network policy, a change in the employee status requires the device to be assigned to the default profile to get a VLAN with just basic internet access. Let's change the return string for this policy to default. Now let's airplane mode cycle again. I now have a 169.IP address and can browse the internet. On the Cisco ISE live logs page, I can see the results of any accepts and rejects. What I have just shown you is how you can use the Cisco Identity Services Engine to authenticate and authorize Celona SIMs and cellular devices to dynamically assign a Celona device profile, automating security for your Celona private network. The time of fully automated IT operations is here, and at Celona with Network Access Control integration, we can help automate security for private cellular clients. Thank you for watching. Look forward to more content from us at Celona.